Well, great. Hello. I am live on YouTube. Okay, my YouTubers. Hello, let me tell you what's going on. So I am recording oh wait, I have to mute myself. Okay. I am recording a talk for a workshop this weekend, and I'm just going to bring you along for the recording. So I'm not talking to myself, you know how we do. All right, so let me go ahead and start this. Start recording. Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be with you all today, and I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge Priscilla, my wonderful friend, for asking me to talk to you today about the foundations of money management. So I want to start off by asking you if this looks like you. Do you have papers everywhere? A lot of us will have papers and statements and financial clutter, paper clutter all over our homes. We have that letter sorter, right? Letters, bills, and mail. We get the mail from the box, we don't even open it, and we throw it in that paper sorter, and we don't look at it again. Well, I am here to help you begin your financial journey on the right foot without the clutter and with a clear and concise plan. That's how we're going to start today. And I want you to get out your notebooks, get out your pens, get ready to take some notes because this is going to be a highly actionable section. So first and foremost, I want to introduce myself. My name is Franchelle Caesar. I am a retired internal medicine doctor. I am now the financial coach for spenders. I help women to organize their finances so that they can make powerful decisions in and out of their life and business. I help them to eliminate the stress and the overwhelm from their financial life. So part of my story, I'll tell you really briefly. People keep telling me I need to tell the story. But in 2019, I believe it was 2019 or 2018, after having my twins, I had 2-year-old twins, and I realized that I didn't want to be a doctor anymore because I was on call all the time. I was so busy, and I really just wanted to participate in my baby's life and be there and be a mom to them. But what was standing between me and quitting this job was the fact that I had over $500,000 in debt. I think we actually had $624,000 in debt, believe it or not. And I knew that if I wanted to have more control over my life and my finances, I needed to clear this debt. So I got busy trying to figure out a plan. What I'm teaching you today are the exact steps that I took in the beginning to start paying off that debt. And I ended up paying off all of the debt completely in 14 months. So I want to help you do that too. So this talk is going to be highly actionable. When presented with the opportunity to speak with you today, it could have gone one of two ways. I could tell you all about money mindset. I can tell you about investing. I can tell you about getting what you need to do to get your finances in order, what you need to do to have the mental capacity to be a wealthy person. I could have told you any of that stuff, but what I thought was most important to tell you were the step-by-step ways that you can start today to set yourself up to be wealthy, to be organized, to be a calm person for the future of all the wealth that you're going to create. So this is the foundation. This is laying the foundation for you so you can start off on the right foot. So I want to start first off because money has such energy. Money has a lot of energy and a lot of anxiety that's attached to it. When we start talking about money, we get really stressed out. So I want to start by inviting you all to just shake out your arms, shake, shake, shake. I want you to take a really big, deep breath in. I want you to breathe in all the peace and calm. Just want you to take a deep breath in. Hold it for just a few seconds, not minutes, and then breathe out with a sigh. And another deep breath in, hold it, and then out with a sigh. Okay. The reason that that's important is that when you start to feel stressed out, you can't make clear decisions. You can't focus on anything. And I want you to be very calm and very clear as we walk through these steps. Okay, so there are two things that I want to teach you today, and I want you to walk away knowing that you can do this today, okay? The first one is called completely eliminating financial paper clutter from your home. Feels like a huge step. I'm going to teach you how to make it really simple and very, very fast. The second one is to create a plan for getting out of debt if you're in debt. Now, if you're not in debt, listen on, because this may be something you can help your friends with, you can teach somebody else, but if you are in debt, this is going to help you already fall asleep tonight, knowing that you have a plan. You will wake up tomorrow feeling so energized and so excited that you're not stuck anymore. You have a plan. It's magical. All right, so first off, let's talk about eliminating financial paper clutter from your house. When I was paying off my debt, the first thing I did, I needed to get a handle. Like, I was just like, what all is there? Where are all the bills? What are all the bills? Like, what all is there? I had this huge file cabinet in my garage. Actually, at that time, it was in my office, and I had like all of these papers in there that were not helping me because I never went through them. I never, decided if they were still relevant. I never cleaned them out. I didn't maintain them. It was basically like I was burying my head in the sand when it came to finances. I didn't want to deal with it. I was a doctor. I was there to work, and I made money, and I paid bills, and I always paid my bills on time. And I didn't really understand all the finances. Okay. So the first thing I did was to create my big book, and that's what I want to teach you guys how to do. So the way the big book works, I'll tell you, this is the solution to having paper clutter all over the house, to having unopened bills, letters, and mail, is this big book. The way this works is you have one centralized place for all of your current and relevant financial information. All of your papers are in this one binder. It's like a 2.5, 3-inch binder. I will teach you how to build this, but you need this. This will be a lifeline to you. This will save you so much stress, so much time, so much effort trying to find papers and trying to figure out what bills are due and what the account numbers are and all that stuff. So what you do to create your big book is that you get a 2.5 to 3-inch binder, a scrapbook binder, or a photo album type of a binder. Get something that's pretty, that actually makes you feel excited to look at it, and fill it with 35 to 50 sheet protectors. I'll show you what I mean by those. It's those transparent sleeves that are 3-ring punched. See if I have an empty one here. I do. Sheet protector. You need 35 to 50 of these. You stick them in your big book, and you'll need 12 dividers, and you can just use a piece of cardstock. You can use your tabs. I put tabs on mine, as you can see. And what you do is about every 3 to 5 sheet protectors. Now you're going to fill this thing with blank, completely empty sheet protectors. Okay, don't get fancy, just completely empty blank sheet protectors. Every 3 to 5 sheet protectors, I want you to put a tab or a divider page or something in there that divides the different sections. What you're going to do is label these sections, and I'll give you the names of the labels. You'll label these sections and start off first by just collecting the bills that are hanging around in your house right now, the letters that have just come in the mail. Open them up, all right? Because you have sheet protectors, you don't have to worry about punching holes in them. You don't have to think about any of that stuff. All you have to do is slide it into the section where it belongs. All right, we don't even care about page 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like, all we care about is the first page. The first page contains the name of the company, the account number, the balance, the phone number, the address, the email address, like those, the basic information that you need, the interest rate, those kinds of things for all the statements. That goes into your big book, okay? Rome was not built in a day. Let me caution you against deciding that you're going to spend 6 hours on Saturday, 6 hours creating your entire big book, going through your file cabinet, decluttering all the things. Do not do that. That's not what we're talking about here. We're not going to do that. You're just going to take the notices that you have, put them in here, and I'm talking bank statements, credit card statements, anything that seems like it's financially related. There's going to be a section for it. I want you to put it in here. Don't spend any more than an hour doing this. And what you're going to do is, as time goes on and you get more mail, instead of stashing it somewhere saying, I'm going to deal with that later, I want you to open it up, find the section it belongs in, stick it in your big book. If you want to get fancy, you can grab a highlighter and highlight the name of the company, the address, the website, the phone number, the balance due, the interest rate, something like that, so you can see it quickly at a glance. But you don't have to do that. All you have to do is stick it in its section. That's it. Okay. How does this big book change your life? Let me tell you the sections. Current taxes, investments and retirement, home, and this means like all your utility bills, your rent statement, mortgage statement, vehicle, and this could be anything from your registration paperwork, your last servicing, all those things. Something, you know how they have the VIN number on there, and sometimes you need that VIN number for things. Put that in the section for vehicle. Medical, and this includes your eyeglass prescription, insurance, dependents, debt-free, because we're not going to have a section called debt. We're going to have a section called debt-free. You'll still put your bills behind there, but with the knowing, we're already going to claim it that we're paying those off. Okay. Business, if you run a small business. Legal, in case you have, like power of attorney, that kind of thing. Career, in case there are papers related to your current job. And past taxes. Now, what I usually do for past taxes, I'll have my last year's taxes in a manila envelope and I'll stick it in the very back behind that past taxes tab. And that's just for reference. I don't have mine in here because I don't need it right now. So current taxes are all the things that you feel like might be relevant to your current taxes. Sometimes they say this is a tax statement, say this for taxes, you can put that in that section. Sometimes it's just something you think, I wonder if this is a write-off, put that in that section so that you have everything in one place. This is how this changes your life, okay? Whenever there is a question of a financial nature at all, whether it's an interest rate, whether it is what company are we using for what, whether it is, I wonder if I can get a lower rate on our cable, internet, whatever it is, you have all the information you need in this book. There is no need to go rummaging through a file cabinet. There's no need to try to declutter all of your crates and boxes of receipts and all that when you have a big book. You just flip to the section and there you go. I'll tell you another way that this really helps. If you're moving, I recently had to move, and you know how you have to change your address on everything? It was so quick. I could take just a few minutes a day just by opening up my big book, turning to a section and sending that company the notice that I had changed my address. And I did a section, a couple sections at a time, and I finished it really, really fast. It was very easy. When I had to turn off utilities at my old place, same thing. I already had them in my book, very easy. I put the new utility information in my big book, took out the old place, easy breezy. And then when you maintain your big book, so what you're doing is every month, say you get a statement in the mail, you stick it in your big book, and you take out the old one and you shred it or you trash it, whatever you want to do. Some statements like your insurance, your insurances, what may be like quarterly or every 6 months or every year, you have those in here. Some of your statements, you don't need to change them out so frequently. You can just change them out every quarter. I always recommend that you go through and declutter your big book once a quarter. So about every 3 months, go through there, just leisurely flipping through page by page, looking at what's old, what's no longer relevant, taking that out, shredding it, and making some space for abundance, clearing it out some space. So this book, when I use it with my coaching clients, it is a lifesaver. Everybody loves the big book because you're no longer guessing about what you have and what you need. You can see it clearly in your hands, tangibly, and you can keep it organized. Now, here's the thing. Some people are paperless and they just love living their paperless life. They don't want any letters or bills or anything coming to their homes. We got you, boo. Don't worry. We got you covered too. There's also a digital option for the big book. It's very, it's identical to having the paper version, but you can use it on your iPad if that's what you use for your digital organization. So everything that you need to know is in the handout that you received for this presentation. It's all, there's a website, there's a link there, so that it's all linked up so that you can find out how to get the information for the digital, because I'm not going to go through that one today, but it's very, very easy to create, just like this paper one is. So that is the big book. This is how you eliminate financial paper clutter. And then there's no pressure to later go through and declutter that file cabinet. Once you've been using your big book for several months, you'll realize the things in that file cabinet are not really relevant. You don't need them. I totally got rid of my file cabinet. I have one little box in the closet with some like past taxes and things in there. I keep like 10 years worth of taxes, but everything that I need is in my big book. So I want that for you too. It's very easy. The next thing is creating a plan. So creating a debt payoff plan, or creating a plan for how you're going to proceed with managing your money for the next foreseeable future. The way that I created the debt payoff plan for my family was using the Debt Snowball. Now, the Death Snowball is something you may have heard of. It was made popular by Dave Ramsey, and I'm actually a Dave Ramsey certified financial coach. That's, where I got my training from. But it actually, Dave Ramsey's training was just confirmation for what I had done in my family, because I took the training after I got out of debt, and I was like, if I'm going to tell other people how to use this, I need to make sure that it actually works for other people, not just for me. And so it was remarkable. The things I had come up with on my own, trying to figure out how to get out of debt, were just the same as what he was teaching. So the Debt Snowball is very important if you want to get out of debt fast. If you see people getting out of debt fast, like I got out of debt really fast, 14 months, $600 and something thousand, and you're like, how is that even possible? I want to tell you about the Debt Snowball. So what is the problem? The reason that you're not getting out of debt super fast is that you are paying all of your bills, but you're scattering your efforts. Okay. Your efforts are not laser focused. Your efforts are not completely maximizing all of the potential that you have. And the reason that it doesn't work very fast is because you're paying on this bill, you're paying on that one, you're paying on this one, you're paying on that one, and you're trying to pay a little more on all of them. You're like, okay, if I just pay a little bit more on all of them, I'll get somewhere. But then you look up and you realize, I haven't gotten anywhere. I'm no closer to being debt free than I was a year ago or 6 months ago. Like, it feels like I'm not doing anything. It's just a drop in the bucket. This is the solution if you feel that way. If you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, and if you feel like your efforts are scattered, the Debt Snowball is your solution. Now, what is the Debt Snowball? The Debt Snowball is a method by which you line up all your debts. Okay, you line them up from the least amount owed to the greatest amount owed. You don't look at the interest rate. You don't look at any other factor except for how much is still left to be paid. And you line them up that way. The reason it works so fast is because you build momentum by the way you pay for them. So I'll explain how you pay. So once you line up all your debts, I don't care if you have 25 debts, okay? I don't care if you have 2 or if you have 25. Line them up in order from least amount owed to greatest amount owed, and put that balance at the top. And with the materials that you've got for this presentation, There's a link on there. You can actually get a free Dead Snowball. You just go in there and download it. It's in the Budget Diary headquarters. You can get a free one, so you can start on this today. I'm telling you, you want to start today. Gonna get somewhere. By the time New Year's rolls around, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, look how far I've gotten already, right? So you get your Debt Snowball, you line up your debts and how much you owe. For every debt, I want you to start paying just the minimum. Just the minimum. I know this is like counterintuitive. You're like, wait, I'm never going to get out of debt if I'm just paying the minimum. Sis, trust me. Let me tell you how it works. Tell you how it works. You pay just the minimum. Okay. The number one debt that you have, that debt that's number one on that list, the smallest debt that you have, and I don't care if it's $5,000 or $10,000, the smallest debt that you have is going to be the one that gets your laser focused attention. All of your other debts are just going to get the minimum until it's their turn. If you have a debt that they're not requiring anything, like say it's like there is no minimum, like there's zero is due. I had a debt, one of my student loans, I had paid so much on it when I was scattering my efforts that they were like, you don't have to pay again for like a year or two. So it was zero. So I didn't pay anything. If your debt says zero, don't pay anything. If you owe your father-in-law for a loan that they gave you to buy your house and he's saying don't pay it back, but you still want to pay it back, but right now he's saying you don't have to, don't pay anything. You can get to that. We're going to get to that, but don't pay anything right now. So if it's zero, pay zero. If it's $25, pay $25. If it's $7, pay $7. Just pay the minimum, because what you're going to do is take every penny, every extra penny, and put it on that number one debt. Now, here was my issue when I first started. How do I know how much extra pennies I have? I hadn't been tracking my finances. I had no idea how much I could actually put on that first debt. That's where money dates come in. That's where tracking comes in. And that's where the budget diary comes in. But today I'm going to teach you how to build your snowball. We're not going to go into all of that. But what I want to let you know is once you pay the minimum on all of your bills, what will happen is you'll start to track not monthly, you'll be tracking weekly. If you're in my program, you'll be tracking weekly, and you'll start to see the pattern. You'll be able to see like how much money you can actually pay towards paying off your debt. And all of that money goes to that number one debt. What will happen is that number one debt will be laser focused, intensely being paid off. And as you get, raises and random checks in the mail, all the things that happen when we're focused on our money, it'll go intensely towards that number one debt. When that debt is paid off, all of the money that you were paying monthly for that number one debt will be applied to your number two debt, in addition to that minimum payment. Okay, so let me tell you what this means. If you ended up being able to pay $2,500 a month on that number one debt, as it was all said and done, you were able to pay $2,500, and then number two debt, you were only paying $25. Once you pay your last $2,500 on that number one debt, and that debt is gone, $2,500 plus $25 goes to that number two debt. Now you can see how quickly that number two debt will start to be paid off. Money's come in, you're doing things, you're wheeling and dealing, you're growing your income, you're knocking out that number two debt, you're smashing it. All the money from the number two debt gets applied to the number three debt, because when number two is paid off, we hit number three. And this becomes a snowball, and you start to be able to pay more and more and more on these debts and knock them out faster and faster and faster until you're debt free. And it happens very fast. So I want to invite you to do a little exercise with me right now. Very quick exercise. I want you to take out a sheet of paper and write down on the right-hand side of the paper, on the left-hand side of the paper, I want you to write down all the bills that you can think of off the top of your head. Everything you're paying for monthly off the top of your head. I want you to write down not just your rent or your mortgage, your utility bills, your cell phone, internet, your gas, groceries, the credit card, that 401k loan or that private loan, student loans if you have them, your car note. What else? Life insurance, homeowners insurance. Just try to write down every one you could possibly think of, everything that you're paying for on a regular basis. On the right-hand side of the sheet, I want you to write down the bills that you would pay for if you were completely debt-free. If everything that you were financing was gone, was paid off, was settled, was paid in full, and the only thing that you were paying for were your monthly living expenses. This means your rent or your mortgage, food, gas, what else? Insurance. And I want you to just sit for a moment. This does go into a little bit of money mindset, but I just want you to sit for a moment because I think this is powerful. I want you to look at where your current life is, which is this list on the left. And look at the potential that your life has, which is the list on the right. And the difference in how much money you're paying out in these two columns. You're earning a lot of money. You may not feel like you are, but you are. You have everything that you need. You're at this conference, you are richer than most people on earth. If you're available and you're able to watch someone present to you on Zoom, you have more than you even need, right? So you have money coming in, but the column on the left is telling you where all that money is going, which is why you don't feel like you have a lot of money. When you look at the column on the right, you can see that once you paid off all of the bills that have been financed, this money, the difference between the two is what you get to keep. It's what you get to save. It's what you get to invest. It's what you get to give to causes you believe in. This money, the difference between the left side of your page and the right side of your page is your power. And currently you might be giving your power away. But I'm here to let you know that very, very soon, it does not take a long time, very, very soon, you will be claiming your power back. You'll be able to get your power back. And the money that you save, you'll be able to do what you want with it and make a difference in the way that you want to make a difference. Who are you in this second scenario? Who is the person who only has these monthly bills? Who is she? What does she look like? How does she conduct herself? What kind of, happy dances is she doing because she's bringing home money that she's able to keep, save, invest, give, right? I'm a financial coach for spenders. I coach women who love to give. Like we give so freely. We give, we shop, we spend, we like nice things, right? But when we're stifled, when we're shackled to debt, it limits our ability to give and spend and love and enjoy life. When you pay off all that debt, I feel like I'm convincing you now, like this is the reason you need to be debt free. When you pay off all that debt, it's so much more to life. There's so much more you can give. There's so many more gifts you can give. There's so much more you can invest in your future, right? And so I wanted to start today with telling you guys about the foundations of personal financial management. The foundations, meaning clear your mind by getting the clutter out of your house. Look how neat that looks. Clear your mind by getting the clutter out of your house and start making a plan to get out of debt. Those are the first two things you need. Now, I know a lot of people have questions that are higher level financial management. Like people want to know, people ask me this all the time. They want to know, like, should I be investing? How can I invest? Like most of my clients, when they come to me, they're very panicked. They're just like, I'm behind. And I'm always trying to convince them, you're not behind. You're actually exactly where you need to be. And the fact that you're paying attention to this kind of stuff means you're ahead of most people. right? So you're not behind. So first off, that's why we breathe. We calm down our nervous system because we can't make decisions when we're in that energy of like, I'm behind, what do I need to do? And if we have a history of making decisions that didn't quite work out right, we have trouble trusting ourselves. So we work on that too. But when you come to me in your inner energy of saying like, how do I invest? Should I invest in the stock market? Should I buy these mutual funds? Should I buy a home, a rental home? And everybody's buying homes now because interest rates are so low and I need to jump in that. I see people all the time trying to buy rental property because the market looks good, but they still have debt, credit card debt or student loan debt or medical bills. And it's like, that's not for you yet. Like, let's breathe, let's calm down. There's a systematic way that if you want to win with money, if you want to be successful, you need to start taking it step by step. There's no other way. So if you want to invest, if you want to have high interest earning savings accounts, if you want to build wealth in the background, if you want to have a college fund, all of these things, they come and it feels like, oh, it's going to take forever for me to get there and it's going to take forever for those things to grow, but it's not. Once you start with the foundation and you start with the debt snowball, getting out of debt, everything's happening very, very quickly, right? Everything will happen so much faster and simpler and cleaner when you follow the foundational steps. So I wanted to come on today. I know I had 45 minutes to talk to you, and those were the first two things that I want to start with because these are the things I start with on all of my clients. I want to make sure that your foundations are intact because once you start to build, you'll need a system for keeping things organized, simple, and portable. And you'll need to be debt free so that all of the money that you invest is actually growing, because it's when you have debt and then you're trying to invest, it's like, you know, it cancels each other out. So let's start with the clean slate. You don't have to pay off your house, but everything else needs to be paid off. That way you have all your power back. And now you can decide how you want to wield your power. I do help people with how to invest their money. I help people with structuring their accounts so that they're getting the most for their money. I help them with money mindset and understanding, you know, their relationship with money and making sure it's a good relationship and a supportive relationship. So we do all that together, but that's after we start off with the foundation. So that's what I wanted to present to you today. I am so grateful and appreciative to be here with you. Everything you need is in the handout that you got, including the way to contact me, more information, more free resources. It's all in the handout. I look forward to hearing from you soon. I believe there's going to be some time for Q&A, so I will be hanging around. I'll be back with you. Thanks.